विष्णुवे नमः ॐ नमो भारतहं ॐ तथागतहं भारतं स्वागतः ॐ तथागतः नमः Chapter 35 The Way to Nibbana Part 1 This middle path leads to tranquility, realization, enlightenment, and Nibbana. Dhammacakka Sutta. The way to Nibbana is the middle path, Majjhima Patipada, which avoids the extreme of self modification that weakens the intellect and the extreme of self indulgence that retards moral progress. This middle path consists of the following 8 factors: right understanding, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. The first two are classified as wisdom, panna, jnana. The second three as morality, shila, and the last three as concentration, samadhi. According to the order of development, mortality, concentration, and wisdom are the three stages on the grand highway that leads to nirvana. These three stages are embodied in the beautiful ancient verses. Subham papasya akaranam कुशलश उपासम्पदः सचेतापर्योदपानम् एतं बुद्धं न शशानम् to cease from all evil, to cultivate good, to purify one's mind. This is the advice of all the Buddhas. We reap what we sow. Evil results in pain and good in happiness. Our pain and happiness are the direct results of our own good and evil. A person with a right understanding realizes this just law of action and reaction, and of his own accord refrains from evil and does good to the best of his ability. He does so for his own good and for the good of others. He considers in his duty to live as a blessing to himself and to all others. Knowing that life is precious to all and that none has any right whatever to destroy the life of another, he extends compassion and loving kindness towards every living being, even to the tiniest creature that crawls at his feet, and refrains from killing or causing injury to any living being. There is no rule that one is to be preyed upon by another. However, the strong do mercilessly kill the weak and feast on their flesh. This is animal instinct. Such actions by animals are excusable because they know not what to do. But when those who are gifted with reason and understanding perpetrate such crimes, there is no excuse. Whether to satisfy one's palate or a pastime, it is not justifiable to kill or to cause another living being to be killed. If the killing of animals is wrong, how much more heinous is it to kill human beings individually or collectively, employing brutal or so called civilized methods for the sake of peace, religion, or any other seemingly good purpose? Peace should prevail and continue its consistency beyond the transcendental dimensions of time and tenses. Honest, trustworthiness, and uprightness also are the characteristics of a person with right understanding. Such a person tries to abstain from all forms of stealing, whether in its dissembled or obvious forms, abstaining from sexual misconduct which debases the exalted nature of man. He tries to be pure and just. He avoids false speech, harsh language, slander, and frivolous talk, and speaks only what is true, sweet, kind, and helpful. As certain drinks and drugs promote heedlessness and mental distraction, he avoids intoxicating liquor and cultivates a heedfulness and clarity of vision. These elementary principles of regulated behavior are essential to one who treads the path to nirvana, chiefly because they tend to control both deeds and words. Violation of them introduces obstacles that hinder his moral progress on the path. Observance of them means smooth and steady progress along the path. Having progressed a step further in his gradual advance, the aspirant now tries to control his senses. To control craving for food and to promote buoyancy of mind and body. Abstemiousness or fasting at least once a month is advisable. Plain and simple living is preferable to a luxurious life which makes one a slave to passions. A life of celibacy is recommended as one's valuable energy, thus conserved, could then be utilized wholly for the intellectual and moral welfare of oneself and others. In such a life, one is detached from additional worldly wants that impede moral progress. Almost all spiritual teachers, it would appear, have nourished their bodies sparingly and have led a life of strict celibacy, simplicity, voluntary poverty, and self control. While he progressed slowly and steadily with the regulated word and deed and sensory restraint, the karmic force of the striving spirit compels him to renounce worldly pleasures and adopt the steady life. To him then comes the idea that a den of strife is household life and filled with toil and need. But free and high as the open sky is the life the homeless lead. Thus, realizing the vanity of sensual pleasures, he voluntarily forsakes all earthly possessions and, donning the ascetic garb, tries to lead the holy life in all its purity. It is not, however, the external appearance that makes man holy, but internal purification and an exemplary life transformation should come from within, not from without. It is not absolutely necessary to retire to solitude and lead the life of an ascetic to realize Nibbana. The life of a bhikshu no doubt expedites and facilitates spiritual progress. But even as a layman, sainthood may be attained. He who attains arhanship as a layman in the face of all temptations is certainly more praiseworthy than a bhikshu who attains arhanship living amidst surroundings that are not distracting. Concerning a master who attained arhanship while seated on an elephant docked in his best apparel, the Buddha remarked, even though a man be vastly adorned, if he walks in peace, if he be quiet, subdued, serene and pure, and if he refrains from injuring any living being, that man is a Brahmin, that man is a hermit, that man is a monk. There have been several such instances of laymen who realized Nibbana without renouncing the world. The most devout and generous lay follower, Anathapindika, was Shotapanna. The Shakya Mahanama Vaja Shaktagami, the potter Ghatikara, was an Nagami, and King Sudodana died as an Arhat. Sutta Nipata, Pabajya Sutta, Volume 406, Dhammapada, Volume 142. A stream winner, the first stage of sainthood. A bhikshu is expected to observe the four kinds of higher mortality, namely Patimokha Shila, the fundamental moral code, Indriya Samvara Shila, morality pertaining to sense restraint, Ajiva Parishuddhi Shila, morality pertaining to purity of livelihood. Pakka Sannisit morality pertaining to the use of the necessaries of life. These four kinds of morality are collectively called Shila Vishuddhi, purity of virtue. The first of the seven stages of purity on the way to Nibbana. When a person enters the order and receives his higher ordination, Upashampada, he is called a Bhikshu. There is no English equivalent that exactly conveys the meaning of this Pali term Bhikshu. A mendicant monk may be suggested as the nearest translation, not in the sense of one who begs, but in the sense of one who lives on alms. There are no vows for a bhikshu. Of his own accord, he becomes a bhikshu in order to lead the holy life. As long as he likes, he is at liberty to leave the order at any time. Bhikshu is bound to observe to 20 rules, apart from several other minor ones. The four major rules which deal with perfect celibacy, stealing mother and father's claims to higher spiritual powers must strictly be observed. If he violates any of them, he becomes defeated, Parajika, and automatically cease to be a bhikshu. But they should continue the practice, as learning is a continuous practice, continuous process. You may take time to learn, to improve yourself. Once returner, the second stage of sainthood. Never returner, the third stage of sainthood. The worthy one, the final stage of sainthood. Various rules which a bhikshu is expected to observe, excluding the seven modes of settling disputes. Adhikarana Shamatha Dhamma. If he wishes, he can re enter the order and remain as a samanera, as like others, novice. In the case of other rules which he violates, he has to make amends according to the gravity of the offense. One may marry, one may lead their life into the Sangha as he aspires to, as practicing since childhood. Among the salient characteristics of a bhikshu are purity, perfect celibacy, voluntary poverty, humility, simplicity, selfless service, self control, patience, compassion, and harmlessness. The life of a bhikshu, or in other words, enunciation of worldly pleasures and ambitions is only an effective means to attain nibbana, but is not an end in itself. And it continues. So the learning process takes time for accomplishment of its related objectives. Then refer about chapter 36. The way to Nibbana, part 2 meditation. One way to acquire again, another that leads to Nibbana, Dhammapada. Concentration, Samadhi, securing a firm footing on the ground of morality. The spirit then embarks upon the higher practice of Samadhi. The control and culture of the mind, the second stage of the path of purity. Samadhi is one pointedness of the mind. It is concentration of the mind on one object to the entire exclusion of all else. According to Buddhism, there are 40 subjects of meditation, kamathana, which differ according to the temperaments of individuals. They are A. The 10 kasinas devices, namely number 1 earth kasina, number 2 water kasina, number 3 fire kasina, and number 4 air kasina, and number 5 blue kasina, 6 yellow kasina, and 7 red kasina, 8 white kasina, 9 light kasina, and 10 space kasina. For the formation of the life. Kashina here means whole, all, complete. It is so called because the projected light is showing from the conceptualized image of the Krishna. Object could be extended everywhere without limitation. In the case of Earth Krishna, one makes a circle of about one span and 4 fingers in diameter and covering it with dawn colored clay. Smooths it well if there be not enough clay of the dawn color, he may introduce some other kind of clay beneath. This concentration circle is known as Krishna Mandala. The remaining Krishna should be similarly understood. Details are given in the Vishuddhimagga. It may be mentioned that light in space Krishnas are not found in the text. When they are excluded, there are 38 subjects, and these 10 kinds of corpusces were found in ancient cemeteries and carnal places. Where dead bodies were not buried or cemented, and where flesh eating beasts and birds frequent. In modern days, it is impossible to obtain such corpus as a subject for meditation. Anushati literally means constant mindfulness. Reperticulation, that is the feeling of loathsomeness of food in its surge, eating, etc. Kattu that one vatham I, that is the investigation of the 4 primary elements of extension, Pattavi, cohesion, Appo, heat, Tejo, and motion, Vayo, with regard to their spatial characteristics. Then B, the 10 impurities, Ashubha, namely 10 corpusces which are respectively blotted, Udhumatka. Number 2, discolored, Vinileka. 3, festering, Vipubaka. 4, dissected, Vichedaka. 5, ground to pieces, Vikaitaka. 6, scattered in pieces, Vikitaka. 7, mutilated and scattered in pieces, Hatta Vikitakam. 8, bloody, Lohitaka. 9, worm infested, Ulapaka. And 10, skeleton, Attika. See the 10 reflections, Anusati, namely 8 reflections on number 1, the Buddha, Buddhanushati. 2, the doctrine, Dhammanushati. 3, the Sangha, Sanghanushati. 4, virtue, Shilanushati. 5, liberality, Kaganushati. 6, Devas, Devatanushati. 7, peace, Upasamanushati. 8, death, Marananushati, respectively together with mindfulness regarding the body, Kayagatta Shakti, and then mindfulness regarding respiration, Anupana Shakti. Indeed, the four illimitables or the four modes of sublime conduct, Brahma Vihar, namely loving kindness, Metta, compassion, Karuna, appreciative joy, Mudita, and equanimity, Upekha. E, the one perception, that is the perception of the loathsomeness of material food. Aharipati Kulasana. And if the one analysis, that is the analysis of the four elements, Katu Dhatu Vavatan 5, like footnotes reference 4 and 5 are given here, then it could be referred to the next pages, but it is mentioned here itself. G, the four Rupa Jnanas, namely the realm of the infinity of space, Akashananakayatna, the realm of the infinity of consciousness, Vinanankayatna, the realm of nothingness, Akinchananayatna, and the realm of neither perception nor non-perception, Nevasannam Asannayatnam. Then suitability of subject for different temperaments according to the text, the 10 impurities, and the mindfulness regarding the body, such as the 32 parts are suitable for those of a lustful temperament because they tend to create a disgust for the body, which fascinates the senses. Silence are also observed in between these practices. The four illimitables and the four colored kashinas are suitable for those of a hateful temperament. The reflections on the Buddha and so forth are suitable for those of devout temperament. The reflections on death and peace, perception on the loathsomeness of material food, and analysis of the four elements are suitable for those of an intellectual temperament. The remaining object, chiefly reflection on the Buddha, meditation on loving kindness, mindfulness regarding the body, and reflection on death are suitable for all, irrespective of temperament. You may feel anger, but you should cool down. These are the suggestions suggested by the expressor of their own experience as interpreted or documented in their respective calligraphic forms here in Roman script. There are six kinds of temperaments, Charita. They are: number one, lustful temperament, Raga Charita. Number two, hateful temperament, Dosha Charita. Number three, ignorant temperament, Moha Charita. Number four, devout temperament, Shuddha Charita. Number five, intellectual temperament, Buddhi Charita. And number six, discursive temperament, Vitakka Charita. So, as it is stated, like extension, Pathavi, cohesion, Apu, hate, Teju, and motion, Vayu with regard to their spatial characteristics. Charita signifies the intrinsic nature of a person, which is revealed when one is in normal state without being preoccupied with anything. The temperaments of people differ owing to the diversity of their actions or karma. Habitual actions tend to form particular temperaments. Raga or lust is predominant in some, while dosa or anger, hatred, ill will in others. Most people belong to these two categories. There are a few others who lack intelligence and are more or less ignorant. Mohacharita. Akin to ignorant are those whose minds oscillate, unable to focus their attention deliberately on one thing with the charita. By nature, some are exceptionally devout, Shraddha Charita, while others are exceptionally intelligent, Buddha Charita. Combining these six with one another, we got 63 types with the inclusion of a speculative temperament. Te Charita, there are 64 types. The subjects of meditation are variously adapted to these different temperaments and types of people. Then, about preparation. Before practicing samadhi, the qualified aspirant should give a careful consideration to the subject of meditation. In ancient days, it was customary for pupils to seek the guidance of a competent teacher to choose a suitable subject according to their temperaments. But today, if no competent teacher is available, the aspirant must exercise his own judgment and choose one he thinks most suited to its character. When the subject has been chosen, he should withdraw to a quiet place where there are the fewest distractions. The forest, cave, or any lonely place is most desirable, for there one is least liable to interruption during the practice. It should be understood that solitude is within us all. If our minds are not settled, even a quiet forest would not be a congenial place. But if our minds are settled, even the heart of a busy town may be congenial. The atmosphere in which we live acts as an indirect aid to tranquilize our minds. Next to be decided by the aspirant is the most convenient time when he himself and his surroundings are in the best possible condition for the practice. Early in the morning, when the mind is fresh and active, or before bedtime if one is not overtired, is generally the most appropriate time for meditation. But whatever the time selected, it is advisable daily to keep to that particular hour, for our minds then become conditioned to the practice. The meditating posture too serves as a powerful aid to concentration. Easterners generally sit cross-legged with the body erect. The listeners, they sit placing the right foot on the left thigh and the left foot on the right thigh. This is the full position. If this posture is difficult, as it certainly is to many, the half position may be adopted. The Sukhasana, that is simply placing the right foot on the left thigh or the left foot on the right thigh. When this triangular position is assumed, the whole body is well balanced. The right hand should be placed on the left hand. The neck straightened so that the nose is in a perpendicular line with the navel. The tongue should rest on the upper palate. The belt should be loosened and clothes neatly adjusted. Some prefer closed eyes so as to shut out all unnecessary light and external sights. Although there are certain advantages in closing the eyes, it is not always recommended as it tends to draw signs. Then the mind gets out of control and wanders aimlessly. Vagrant thoughts arise, the body loses its erectness. Quite unconsciously, the mouth opens itself, saliva dribbles, and the head nods. The Buddhas usually sit with half closed eyes, looking through the tip of the nose, not more than a distance of 4 feet away. Those who find the cross leg posture too difficult may sit comfortably in a chair or any other support sufficiently high to rest the feet on the ground. It is of no great importance what posture one adopts, provided it is easy and relaxed. The aspirant who is striving to gain one pointedness of the mind should endeavor to control any unwholesome thoughts at their very inception. As mentioned in the Sutta Nipada, he may be attacked by the 10 armies of the evil one. They should maintain peace and charity. They are number one, sensual desires, kama. Number two, discouragement, arati. Number three, hunger and thirst, kupipasa. Number four, attachment, tanha. Number five, sloth and torpor. Then number six, fear, bhaya. Seventh is doubt, vichikicha. Eight, distraction and stubbornness, makka, tamba. Nine, gain, praise, honor, and ill-gotten fame, labha, shiloka, shakkara, mithyasa. And 10, self-praise, are contempt for others. Atukam sana parabambana. On such occasions, the following practical suggestions given by the Buddha will be beneficial to all. Number one, harboring a good thought opposite to the encroaching one. That is loving kindness in case of hatred. Reflecting upon possible evil consequences, that is anger, sometimes results in murder. Number three, simple neglect or becoming wholly inattentive to them. Pradhana Sutta, see page 28. Number four, tracing the cause which led to the rising of the unwholesome thoughts and thus forgetting them in the retrospective process. Then number five, direct physical force. Just as a strong man overpowers a weak person, So one should overcome evil thoughts by bodily strength, with teeth clenched and tongue pressed to the palate. Advises the Buddha. The monk by main force must constrain and coerce his mind, and thus with clenched teeth and thou tongue, constraining and coercing his mind, those evil and unsalutary thoughts will disappear and go to decay. And with their disappearing, the mind will become settled, subdued, unified, and concentrated. Majjhima Nikaya with the Santanna Sutta number 20. Having attended to all these necessary preliminaries, the qualified aspirant retires to a solitary place and summoning up confidence as to the certainty of achieving his goal. He makes a persistent effort to develop concentration. Then about Kasina. A physical object like a Kasina circle only aids concentration, but a virtue like loving kindness has the specific advantage of building up that particular virtue in the character of the person. While meditating, one may intelligently repeat the words of any special formula, since they serve as an aid to evoke the ideas they represent. However intent the experience may be on the object of his meditation, he will not be exempt from the initial difficulties that inevitably confront a beginner. The mind wanders, alien, alien thoughts dance before him. Impatience overcomes him owing to the slowness of progress, and his efforts slacken in consequence. The determined experience only welcomes these obstacles, the difficulties he cuts through, and looks straight to his goal, never for a moment turning away his eyes from it. Suppose, for instance, an aspirant takes an earth kshina for his object, Kamatthana, the surface of a circle of about 1 foot in diameter is covered with clay and smooth wool. This concentrative circle is known as the preliminary object, Parikammanimitta. He sets it down some 4 feet away and concentrates on it, saving Pattavi, earth, until he becomes so wholly absorbed in it that all advantageous thoughts get automatically excluded from the mind. When he does this for some time, perhaps weeks or months or years, he would be able to visualize the object with closed eyes. On this visualized image, Nimitta, which is a mental replica of the object, he concentrates until it develops into a conceptualized image, Patibhagam Nimitta. According to the Vishuddhimagga, the difference between the first visualized image and the second conceptualized image is that in the former, the fault of the Krishna or Kshina object, Kshina means mortal object, appears, while the latter is like the disk of a mirror taken out of a bag or a well varnished conch shell, or the round moon issuing from the clouds. The conceptualized image neither possesses color nor form, it is just a mode of appearance and is born of perception. As he continually concentrates on this abstract concept, he is said to be in positions of proximate concentration, upakkara or samadhi, and the innate five hindrances to spiritual progress in nirvana, namely sensual desires, kama, shanda, hatred, vyapada, sloth, and torpor, Tinnamittam, a restlessness in body, Uddaka, Kukuka, and indecision, Viki, Kitcha, are temporarily inhibited by means of one pointedness, Ekagatta, and zest, Vitti, initial application, Vittika, happiness, Sukha, and sustained application, Vikara, respectively, Vichara. Eventually, he gains ecstatic concentration, apanna samadhi, and becomes absorbed in dhyana, enjoying the calmness and serenity of a one pointed mind. This one pointedness of the mind, achieved by inhibiting the hindrances, is termed purity of mind, chitta vishuddhi, the second stage on the path of purity. For the Badakshina, one will like a vessel full of colorless water, preferably rainwater, and concentrate on it, saying Appo, Appo, water, water, until he gains one pointedness of the mind. To develop the fire Kshina, one may kindle a fire before him and concentrate on it through a hole, a span, and four fingers wide in a rashmat, a piece of leather or a piece of cloth. One who develops the air Kshina concentrates on the wind that enters through window space or a hole in the wall, saying Vayo, Vayo, air, air. To develop the color Kshina, one may make a disc mandala of the prescribed size and color it blue, yellow, red, or white, and concentrate on it, repeating the name of the color, as in the case of the earth Kshina. He may even concentrate on blue, yellow, red, and white flowers. Light Kshina may be developed by concentrating on the moon or an unflickering lamplight or on a circle of light made on the ground or the wall by sunlight or moonlight entering through a wall, crevice, or holes, saying Aloka, Aloka, light, light. Space Akshina could be developed by concentrating on a hole, a span, and four fingers wide in either a well covered pavilion or piece of leather or mat, saying Okasha, Okasha, space, space. Then about Ashubha, the 10 kinds of corpses were found in ancient Indian cemeteries where dead bodies were not buried or cremated and were flesh eating animals frequent in modern days, finding them is out of question. Then about Anushakti, Buddha Anushakti is the reflection on the virtues of the Buddha as follows. Such indeed is that exalted one, worthy, fully enlightened, endowed with wisdom and conduct, welfare, knower of the worlds, and incomparable charioteer for the training of individuals, teacher of gods and men, omniscient and holy. Then Dhammanushakti is the reflection on the characteristics of the doctrine as follows. Well expounded is the doctrine by the blessed one, to be realized by oneself of immediate fruit, inviting investigation, ehe pasikko, inviting to come and see, leading to Nibbana, to be understood by the wise, each one for himself. Then about Sanghanushakti is the reflection on the virtues of the pure members of the holy celibate order as follows. Of good conduct is the order of the disciples of the blessed. Of upright conduct is the order of the disciples of the blessed one. Of wise conduct is the order of the disciples of the blessed one. Of dutiful conduct is the order of the disciples of the blessed one. These four pairs of persons constitute eight individuals. This order of the disciples of the blessed one is worthy of offering, is worthy of hospitality, is worthy of gifts, is worthy of reverential salutation, is an incomparable field of merit to the world. Then Shilanusati is the reflection of the perfection of one's own virtuous conduct. Then Utkaganusakti, the sense of Kara, is a reflection of one's own charitable nature. Then about Deva Tannushakti, deities are born in such exalted states on account of their faith and other virtues. I too possesses them. Thus, when one reflects again and again on one's own faith and other virtues, placing deities as witnesses, it is called Devatanno Shakti. Then Upasamanu Shakti is the reflection on the attributes of Nibbana, such as the cessation of suffering and light. About Marananusakti is the reflection on the termination of psychophysical life. Contemplation on death enables one to comprehend the fleeting nature of life. When one understands that death is certain and life is uncertain, one endeavors to make the best use of one's life by working for self development and for the development of others instead of wholly indulging in sensual pleasures. Constant meditation on death does not make one pessimistic and lethargic, but on the contrary, it makes one more active and energetic. Besides, one can face death with serenity. While contemplating death, one may think that life is like a flame, or that all so called beings are the outward temporary manifestations of the invisible karmic energy. Just as an electrical light is the outward manifestation of the invisible electric energy. Using various similes as one likes, one may meditate on the uncertainty of life and on the certainty of death. Kayagata Shakti is the reflection on the 32 impure parts of the body, such as hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, bowels, mesentery, stomach, feces, brain, bile, fulgum, pus, blood, sweat, lymph, tears, grease, saliva, nasal mucus, articular fluid, and urine. This meditation on the loathsomeness of the body leads to dispassion. Many bhikshus in the time of the Buddha attained arahantship by meditating on these impurities. If one is not conversant with all the 32 parts, one may meditate on one part, such as bones, flesh, or skin. Inside this body is found a skeleton. It is filled with flesh, which is covered with the skin. Beauty is nothing but the skin deep. When one reflects on the impure parts of the body in this manner, passionate attachment to this body gradually disappears. This meditation may not appeal to those who are not sensual. They may meditate on the innate creative possibilities of this complex machinery of man. Anapanna Shakti is mindfulness on respiration. Anna means inhalation and apanna exhalation. Anuswara Nasika Visarga. In some books, these two terms are explained in the reverse order. Concentration on the breathing process leads to one pointedness of the mind and ultimately to insight, which leads to arhanship. This is one of the best subjects of meditation which appeals equally to all. The Buddha also practiced this Anapanasati before his enlightenment. A detailed exposition of this meditation is found in the Shakti Patana Sutta and in the Vishuddhimagga. Then about practical hints. A few practical hints are given here for the benefit of the average reader. Adopting a convenient posture, breathe out and close the mouth. Then breathe through the nostrils naturally and not forcefully. Inhale first and mentally count 1. Inhale and count 2. Continue concentrating on the breathing process. In this manner, one may count up to 10 constantly, focusing one's attention on respiration, or for thousands for 10,000 times. It is possible for the mind to wander before one counts up to 10, but one need not be discouraged. Let one try till one succeeds. Gradually, one may increase the number of series, say 5 series of 10. Later, one may concentrate on respiration without counting. Some prefer counting as it aids concentration, while some others prefer not to count. What is essential is concentration and not counting, which is secondary. When one does this concentration, one feels light in body and mind and very peaceful too. One might perhaps feel as if one were floating in the air. When this concentration is practiced for a certain period, a day will come when one will realize that this so-called body is supposed by mere breath and that body perishes when breathing ceases. One instantly realizes impermanence. Where there is change, there cannot be a permanent entity or an immortal soul. Insight could then be developed to gain arhanship. It is now clear that the object of this concentration on respiration is not merely to gain one pointedness but also to cultivate insight in order to obtain deliverance. This simple method may be pursued by all without any harm. For more details, readers are referred to the Vishuddhimagga. About Anapanasati, according to the Shakti Pathanas, mindfully he inhales, mindfully he exhales. Number 1, when making a long inhalation, he knows I make a long inhalation. When making a long exhalation, he knows I make a long exhalation. Number 2, when making a short inhalation, he knows I make a short inhalation. When making a short exhalation, he knows I make a short exhalation. Number three, clearly perceiving the entire breathing process. That is the beginning, middle, and end. I will inhale, thus he trains himself. Clearly perceiving the entire breathing process, I will exhale, thus he trains himself. Then number four, calming the respirations, I will inhale, thus he trains himself. Calming the respiration, I will exhale, thus he trains himself. Then about Brahma Vihara. Here Brahma means sublime or noble as in Brahmacharyam, sublime life. Vihara means mode or state of conduct or state of living. They are also termed apamanna, limitless, boundless, because these thoughts are radiated towards all beings without limit or obstruction. Then about Metta, Sanskrit, Maitri, loving kindness, benevolence, goodwill is defined as the that which softens one's heart. It is not carnal love or personal affection. The direct enemy of Metta is hatred, ill will, or aversion, krodha. It is indirect enemy, it's personal affection, prema, prema. Then Metta embraces all beings without exception. The culmination of metta is the identification of oneself with all beings. Shabbat. It is the wish for the good and happiness of all. Benevolent attitude is its chief characteristic. It discards ill will. Then about Karuna, compassion is defined as that which makes the hearts of the good quiet when others are subject to suffering or that which dissipates the sufferings of others. Its chief characteristic is the wish to remove the sufferings of others. Its direct enemy is wickedness, hymns, and its indirect enemy is passionate grief, domanasha, compassion, and embraces sorrow stricken beings and it eliminates cruelty. Mudita is not mere sympathy but sympathetic or appreciative joy. Its direct enemy is jealousy, and its indirect enemy is exhilaration, bahasha. Its chief characteristic is happy acquiescence in others' prosperity and success. Anumodana. Mudita embraces all prosperous beings. It eliminates dislike and is the congratulatory attitude of a person. Then about upeksha, literally means to view impartially. There is with neither attachment nor aversion. It is not hedonic indifference but perfect equanimity or well balanced mind. It is the balanced state of mind amidst all vicissitudes of life, such as praise and blame, pain and happiness, gain and loss, repute and disrepute. Its direct enemy is attachment, raga, and its indirect enemy is carelessness. Upeksha discards clinging and aversion. Impartial attitude is its chief characteristics. Here, upeksha does not mean mere neutral feeling but implies a sterling virtue. Equanimity, mental equilibrium are its closest equivalents. Upeksha embraces the good and the bad, the loved and the unloved, the pleasant and the unpleasant. The Shuddhimagga describes in detail the method to cultivate the Brahmaviharas in order to develop the jnanas. Then references about supernormal powers. When once the aspirant succeeds in cultivating the jnanas, he can without difficulty develop the five supernormal powers, Abhinna, namely divine eye, Dibha Chakshu, divine ear, Dibha Sota, reminiscence of past birth, Pabbe Nivasanno Shaktinanna, thought readings, Parachitta Vijanna, and various psychic powers, Iddhivitta. Samadhi and these supernormal powers, it may be mentioned, are not essential for the attainment of Urhanship, though they would undoubtedly be an asset to the possessor. There are, for instance, dry visioned arhants, Sukha Vipaksha, who without the aid of the jnanas attain arhantship straightway by merely cultivating insight. Many men and women attained arhatship in the time of Nibuddha himself without developing the jnanas. It is only one who has gained the fifth jnana, the jhana, that could develop the five kinds of abhinna. Divya Chakshu is the celestial or divine eye, also called clairvoyance, which enables one to see heavenly or earthly things far or near they are that are imperceptible to the physical eye. Chuttapapatan, knowledge with regard to the dying and the reappearing of beings, is identical with this celestial eye. Anagatam sanna, knowledge with regard to the future, and yathakamupagatana, knowledge with regard to the fearing of beings according to their own good and bad actions, are two other kinds of knowledge belonging to the same category. Dibbashotta is the celestial ear, also called clairaudience, which enables one to hear subtle or coarse sounds far or near. Then Pubannivasanno Satyanna is the power to remember the past lives of oneself and others. With regards to this knowledge, the Buddha's power is limitless, while in the case of others, it is limited. Parachitte Vijanna is the power to discern the thoughts of others. Yadhi Vidanna is the power to fly through the air, walk on water, dive into the earth, or create new forms, etc. So, in this manner, the chapter concludes. Then, the rest of the readings could continue further, and it will tell about this chapter 27, that is about Nivarna or hindrances. Nivarna. ॐ नमो दिव्याय महादिव्याय शिवाय सत्तं नमो नमो प्रकृत्यै भद्राय नेतापन्ताय स्मताम् ॐ वर्णानामथ सङ्घानां वृषाणां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमललोचने विद्यारूपे विशालाक्षीं विद्यां देहि नमोऽस्तु ते ॐ